Welcome to Touchline. I'm your host, Anthony Totera, here on Touchline again at the OSA Center with Marco Retta. Marco, thanks for joining us on Touchline.
My pleasure.
Marco, let's talk a little bit about your career here in Ontario as a youth. Give us some memories, some of the clubs you played for, maybe a tournament that you won, or maybe competing in the Ontario Cup.
Sure. I played most of my youth soccer with Woodbridge Strikers. For one reason or another, I ended up my career playing for the Malton Bullets. Probably one of the best teams I've played on, relatively speaking. We had 5 players that went on to play for the men's national team. Myself, Paul Stalteri, Jason Bent, Robbie Aristodemo, some names that the audience might be familiar with. We didn't lose a game that season. Won the Ontario Cup, won the Robbie tournament, won the national championship. So I'd say my youth soccer career ended on a good note.
Must have been a special coach on that team. Who was that?
I was Orazio. His name was DeChantis.
Okay,
ex-national team goalkeeper. So he was great with us. Gave us a lot of opportunities. Treated us like players, like pros, and we fed off him.
So he treated you like men. He respected you. He let you guys have a little leeway, is what you're saying.
Exactly. He gave us the freedom to develop on our own. But he was a great guy. Some of us still keep in touch with him, and we see him around. I saw him at some TFC games back in the day. So he's a great guy. And
that's what it's all about, memories. That coach sticks in your mind forever and ever because he meant a lot to you. You mentioned the word development, Marco. Let's talk about development here in Ontario. In your opinion, you've been overseas. You've played with TFC their first year. What are you seeing that's positive for the Ontario player, and what do you see that's negative that needs to be worked on?
I think clubs are starting to put more money into their programs now. Here in Woodbridge, they've developed they start the Scuola Calcio, where Peter Pinizzotto, the technical director, has the most teams working with qualified, experienced coaches that have played at a high level. That'll only help with the player development. I think that on the negative side, probably we don't see the players enough. With all due respect to the volunteer coaches, the parents, they do a great job. But I think, kids need to see qualified, experienced coaches more often.
So by seeing them enough, you're saying that maybe the provincial coaches as well need to get out there more and look at all these kids and not just a select few?
Yeah, I mean, during the indoor season, kids are probably training maybe once or twice a week. I know with the, facility costs and all that, it's difficult. But, I mean, in Europe, kids at the youth level are training 4 or 5 times a week, one game a week. Here, maybe 1 or 2 training sessions and then 2 games, 3 games. So the training to game ratio is not right, and we need to see kids more often. They need to be training a little bit more.
And talk about year-round practice and training. Unfortunately, here in Canada and Ontario, the weather doesn't permit that, and the kids work on these astroturfs that are so hard on their knees and on their legs. Marco, what can you say to that?
There's not much you can say. I mean, other than grass, if grass could go indoors, we'd be playing on it. But I think it's the next best option. There's not much you can do on it. It's probably still better than the gyms that I grew up playing on. We trained on high school gyms. So I think with the turf, it's an okay option.
Marco, when you were growing up, obviously you had the passion, you had the drive to become a soccer player. In today's youth, there's too much distraction, computers, after-school programs, mom and dad pushing them maybe where they don't want to be pushed. Yeah. Give some advice out there for the youth and the parents.
Well, you just have to look at players like myself, Paul Stalteri, Jim Brennan, TFC captain, local guys that have made a career out of the game. Back when I was playing, I wish there was as many opportunities now as there are for the youth. I mean, there's 3 very good professional clubs here in Canada. Maybe didn't exist back when I was playing youth soccer. There's only going to be more down the road. And you can make a good career. And MLS, guys making very good money. You don't have to go overseas. There is options here locally.
Marco, you're a parent, and let me ask you a question. When your son or daughter gets to the age of 16 or 17, and maybe they have something that you see that's in them, where would you steer them? In what direction? Scholarship, MLS, overseas, provincial? Where would you steer them?
I think I think it's their decision. Most if they're good enough, I'd steer them to the professional environment. I think that's where they'll get the best coaching, the most training, obviously. There's nothing wrong with the scholarship route. That's the route I took, and I ended up playing professional soccer for 10 years. So that's still a viable option. But I think, with TFC Academy, Montreal Impact starting their own academy, Vancouver has their residency program, I think that's the best bet. That they'll get the best coaching. They're in a professional environment, and that'll bode well for them becoming a professional down the road.
Marco, you mentioned coaching. Do we give enough respect to the coaches here? And if not, what should we do about it?
Like a lot of things in life, it always comes down to money. Is there enough money? Like I said, the volunteer coaches, parents, they do a fantastic job. I'm a coach myself, so I know the time and effort that they put into it. But they can only take the kids so far in development. If we had the money to hire, ex-pros, guys that have their license, that will only help because they can take players to the next level.
But Marco, I find it strange that you mentioned the word money. There's not enough money. Some of these clubs, big clubs, like yours, like other big clubs, have huge budgets. Maybe it's time for them to open the purse strings and help out these coaches.
Yeah, I agree. They're supposed to be not-for-profit, but they've got millions in the bank for what I've been told. So, it's time for clubs to start hiring professional staff, hired coaches, qualified coaches, full-time. In the evenings, maybe not good enough. We can start after school programs, whatever. But I think that's the future for clubs to hire full-time staff.
Marco, last thing I want to ask you here on the grassroots issue is a young boy, young girl, maybe at the age of 12 on up, what could they work on after school? Something that maybe you worked on or you did that they can use as a tool for themselves?
I remember my dad, we had a tennis court across the street. My dad would take me in there, just banging the ball across, passing to each other, banging the ball against the tennis board there. And my parents had a lot of trees in their backyard. I would dribble around the trees, get on the ball as much as possible, touch the ball as often as you can. That you don't learn from except touching the ball, So practice on your own. As long as they're training and they're focused and come to training with the right attitude, the development will come.
Marco Retta, thanks for joining us here on Touchline, and I'm sure that you would say that Ontario treated you well, unlike a lot of ex-athletes that say Ontario did not treat them well.
No, Ontario treated me very, very well. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the opportunities that are presented here in Ontario.
Thank you, Marco Retta, for joining us here on Touchline. It's more people like you, ex-players, that mean a lot to this province to keep going forward.